We will do several different kinds of bling bling bracelets in this program. However, we need to start with a base, and in this case I'm doing some 6 to 7 ounce vegetable tan cowhide. I've cut a straight edge on here, and now I'll use my strap cutter to cut a 2-inch strip. You can cut these strips actually any size you want. I find that 2-inch makes a really nice bracelet. And you can cut these out of either a 6 to 7 ounce or 4 to 5 ounce, depending on how you're going to make it. The next step is to square off one end of our strip of leather, and then we will make this about 9 inches long. There are many different size wrists that you can fit. However, the average would be 7.5 to 8.5 inch wrist size. So we need to add a little bit so that we can install some snaps where we'll have some overlap. So I'm adding about, if I want to make an 8-inch, I'll add another inch and make it 9 inches overall. Next, we can round the 4 corners, or we can just take our knife and cut about a 1/2 inch off and make some angled corners. I find this works very well. I have decided to have line 24 snaps as a closer, so I'm going to punch 4 holes, 2 in each end, about a 1/2 inch in from each border. And to make sure that they line up properly, I will fold it, put it to the other end as you see, mark it with a pen, and then I will punch these 2 holes. I'm using a 1/8 inch punch, which is just right for the line 24 snaps. I will now dampen my leather for tooling, and I'll set it aside for a few minutes to allow the water to penetrate. I have decided to just do a border stamp on here because we're going to add some bling to it, and this will give us a nice background or a base for the other things we're going to do. And there's our piece. Now we'll just set it aside and let it dry and apply the color and the finish of our choice. Next, I will take my edge beveler and bevel the edges, both top and bottom. And we'll also edge bevel the ends. Next, we will dampen the edges. And we'll set it aside for a few moments. And then we will use the slicker to smooth the edges all the way around. There are many ways you can color and finish your bling bling bracelets. In this case, I'm going to use the medium brown gel antique, and I will put some on here first. Take a dauber and make sure I get it down in all of the tool impressions. And after we have that accomplished, we can take a paper towel, make a pad out of it, and wipe. So we will be getting all of the excess off the surface, but leaving it down in all of the tool impressions. And now we can take our dauber and do the edges. As you do each edge, take the paper towel and rub. Now we'll do this to all the edges. To attach our concho, I have made a little mark right there, and I'll punch a 1/4 inch hole. And we will attach our concho with the screw that was provided. I have decided to add some crystal rivets to my wristband, so I will punch some holes where I'd like to locate those. It is real easy to set the rivets. You just push one through the hole as you see me doing there, turn it over onto the setting pad, put the cap on the back, and with the rivet setter, strike it several times, and your crystal rivet is attached. And here is how our wristband looks after we have attached all of the crystal rivets. To finish this wristband, all I need to do is attach the snaps. I'll do the male half by putting the post through the leather, put the stud on top, and with the tool just crimp it in place. We'll do one more on the other corner. And now we will attach the female half, push the cap through as you can see, turn it over onto the anvil, and attach the female half of the snap as you can see, and crimp it down just like we did the other one. And our wristband is all finished. I have cut 2 pieces of leather here. One is a piece of 4 to 5 ounce vegetable tanned, and the other is a piece of hair on cow that I've cut oversize. And now I would like to use this contact cement to cement the 2 pieces together. Of course, being contact cement, I will need to apply it to both surfaces. I'll apply it to the back of my natural leather, and then I will apply it to the back of the hair on cow. And then we will set it aside to dry until it gets tacky. I have allowed the cement to dry until it's tacky, and now we can stick the 2 pieces together and rub it down real good. And now we can trim it. To trim this hair on cowhide leather, or any soft leather for that matter, I like to use the roller knife with a good surface like I have here, and just roll the knife, and it cuts it real clean. And now we can use the round knife to trim the 4 edges, taking about a 1/2 inch off of each of the edges. I have decided to lace this one with this dark brown 5/32 inch Florentine lace, so the first thing I'll need to do is punch some holes. So I'm going to take my wing dividers and put a line around the outside edge about 1/4 inch in. Then I will take my wing dividers, make it about 1/2 inch, and I will use that then to mark the edge, starting in the corner. I'll press it down using my wing dividers as a spacer and mark my lacing holes right on the line. We will now punch our lacing holes, and I'm going to use a 5/32 drive punch to do that. Now, the reason we mark this on the back, it's very difficult to see on the hair side, so we will punch and do everything from the back. And we'll punch our lacing holes all the way around. As you can see, I'm doing a very, very simple whip stitch on here. This is purely decorative. Now that our lacing is finished, I'm going to take a round drive punch. I'm going to punch a hole near the end, as you can see, right in the middle. We'll do that at both ends. This will be for our closer snap. We will now set the line 24 heavy duty snap. Push the post through from the back. Put the male half of the snap and put the setter down in and strike it. And our male half is set. We'll do the female half, push the post through, bring in the anvil, turn it upside down on the anvil, put the female half or the receiver, take the same setter, stamp it down, and we're ready. I will punch a hole right in the middle of our wristband, as you can see, and I'm going to add a real fancy concho that we have glued some of the crystal rhinestones to, and we'll turn this over and we'll fasten it with the screw that's provided. There's our piece after we have attached the concho. Let's see what else we can do to this one. I have brought in my hand press, and I have decided to do some 3/8 inch spots, as you can see, and we'll put several more of those on there. And there we have a pretty nice bling bling bracelet. These are just two of an unlimited number of leather bracelets that you can make. All you need is a few supplies and your imagination, and you can do anything you want with the bling bling.